Since I've been working with Fairfax County Animal Shelter, I've worked with 7 of their dogs. Uh, the shelter is sending me 2 dogs per month. So when I have a break from my own personal clients, I take a shelter dog, and I'm thrilled to take the shelter dogs. They're so much fun to work with, and to just watch them when they come out and just their personalities, just awaken, and they're so much fun. You can usually see a difference in the dog's behavior within 2 or 3 hours. They're so excited to be here and to be able to run, to be free. And again, it's the beginning of the process to get them to start communicating and to start their whole training process. I think sometimes the older dogs that are coming from the shelter that people may think have issues that are set in them and that they're not going to be able to change are completely wrong. Some of the older shelter dogs are, and you might not know their background, but they're so ready and they're so grateful to have a home, and they're so willing to work with the new owner. In my opinion, much more so than the younger dogs. The first step in the whole process is working with the dog and learning how to communicate and learning his behavior so that you can make the changes necessary to make them a great companion dog. So to begin the process, you have to really take the time to learn the dog's personality and to learn what it's going to take to bring the best that he has in him out. Just because they're cute, just because they're fluffy, doesn't mean they're always going to be well behaved. There are always trainers at the shelter working with the dogs, but the time that it takes to start with the technique training without understanding what behaviors are behind the issues makes the process from arrival to adoption much longer. The dogs that are coming out to me, I'm working on their behavioral issues immediately. So that way I can report what's going on, start working with the dog, start getting the dog into the proper training program, and then hand them back to the shelter and their trainers can continue. The first day a dog arrives, they are off leash and they are free to roam, to go, to do whatever they want while they're here, as long as they're not causing any problems. And so far, nobody has. When they come, they meet my dogs. We're a family, we're a family unit, and they usually follow right along. Even if they don't so much trust me at first, they follow along with my other dogs, and they watch, they learn, and eventually, it might take a couple days, eventually they start trusting and they start responding to the simplest of commands. And sometimes a simple command can be a huge success just to get the ball rolling. This is Muddy, who's sitting here beside me, and he was he was in a home situation that just wasn't the best for him. He was very hyper. As you can see, he's not anymore. He was very hyper. He was out of control. A friend of mine asked me if I would take him, and it took me quite a while to agree to it. And she brought him over, and she had him on a leash, and she said, "Okay, here you go." And she's like, "And I think he's a flight risk." So I said, "Okay." So we went into the house. He came into my house. He knocked everything over. He ran around. He went to the bathroom on the floor. And I was like, oh, geez, what did I get myself into? And then I was going to let my other dogs, who are always very well trained and know they can go wherever they want on the farm, out for a bathroom break. And he ran past my legs, ran out the door, and just took off. And I was like, okay. So, I'm like, I just left the other dogs out with him. And within 15 minutes, he came back with them, and he has been just progressing. This is 4 years ago. He's been just progressing ever since, and he is my constant companion, and he comes everywhere with me. The trust that he has for me and the trust that I have for him have made him the most amazing companion ever. When they come, like we were speaking about, they are given a few days to sort of decompress, learn our routine, start listening to the simplest of commands, and get them in the right mindset so that they can keep making advances in their training, but until they're ready to work with you, there's no way to force them. You know, you need to give them their time to respond to what you're asking and to learn to communicate together.